Welcome to part 40 of GTA San Andreas. After killing construction workers, we're going to see what the triads have in store for us, even though we don't really meet the triads until the mission following.
CJ!
You got it?
Hey, my cousin just called me. He gave me a tip about a baller's car going to San Fierro to score yay.
Shit! We gotta find out who's supplying those cats.
Read your mind, Holmes. I picked them up at the Mulholland intersection, and I'm trailing them now.
Okay, I'm coming to meet you.
Better make it fast, Holmes. These boys are hanging around.
And might I add, this is one of the longest missions in the game. Why, you may ask? Because of the fact that we're going to be going all the way back to Blueberry to pick up Caesar, then go all the way over to Angel Pine in order to catch these guys. Now, the two things about this mission that could be rather annoying is, once you pick up Caesar, his car must not be destroyed. That's the first off. The second off, you gotta get this exact shot of every single character that happened to show up in that meet. If you do not, you fail that mission. This mission can be rather tedious, because if you fail the mission at any time, whether it's having Caesar inadvertently killed, you being busted, his car being blown up, etc., that means you have to travel from San Fierro all the way back to Blueberry, and then travel from Blueberry all the way back to Angel Pines again. And I don't even think this has a skip feature in this mission. I just have to get that out of the way right now, because it is going to be a very long trip. And because of that, I am going to cut out most of this trip until we somehow manage to make it, and by somehow I mean end up losing the car that I just so happened to acquired, until we somehow manage to make it all the way over here in Blueberry. So with that said, ladies and gentlemen, I'm going to mark this, and I will see you guys when we are nearing Caesar's position, because we don't need to see us go all the way back to Blueberry. Before we go back to that mission, first off, I'd like to point out that there is a Desert Eagle, by far the most powerful pistol in the game, not too far from Zero's and right up the street from your safe house in Doherty. Make sure you pick it up, and if you can, put it to Hitman as quickly as you possibly can. Now for the next weapon, which is located in Ocean Flats, where I have it marked, which is the SMG. If you don't want to buy SMGs from Ammunition, come where I have it marked. You'll always find it there. Not just there, but also in Ocean Flats, which is the same area, is body armor, just in case you don't want to buy body armor. I mean, there's more than one place for body armor, but this is one of the places that is most notorious. So make sure you come here to get some free body armor. And with that, now we can go back to the mission. We should be nearing Caesar's position right about now. And with that, I may have to ditch this bike. Even though it's a cool looking bike, I'm gonna have to get rid of it. Why? Because we'll be driving in Caesar's car, and nothing should happen to Caesar's car. And by nothing, I mean the car should not be blown to bits. So, without further ado, let's hop into Caesar's ride.
Hop in, Holmes.
Now, it's going to be a long trip from Blueberry all the way to Angel Pines.
Where we going? They were headed over Angel Pine Way.
Now,
Follow the road and maybe we can pick them up.
that means we're going to have to take some back roads and side roads in order to get to Angel Pine without damaging this car, because Caesar's car does not, and I repeat, does not have any handling. It's only modded with hydraulics. So more than likely on these types of tight winding roads, it's going to flip over. Oh, and just in case you aren't familiar with where they are, they're right here in Angel Pine. I might as well mark it on the map for you so you can see. But I promise you, it's going to be a pretty damn long and treacherous trip. Because The roads are definitely long. There's a descending mountain path, and as I said before, due to the fact that Caesar's car has been modded out for hydraulics, it barely has any handling. It would be in your best interest to try to stay on the road and try not to take shortcuts. That right there is actually a deep ravine, and I would not recommend going there. I just realized that, so I am turning around and headed straight for the Flint intersection by going the normal way, which is fighting against the traffic. I don't know if that's called normal, but still. Once I cut across this bridge, I could simply go over to Angel Pine. However, it's going to be a long drive on Flint Range. So, with that said, we'll have one last look at the Boondocks, because once again, this will be probably the last time we'll see him again until later on in the game. And I mean way later. Like when we buy the airfield later. But anyway, it's going to be a long drive. At least it'll increase my skills. But for now, I will meet you until we get to Angel Pines. So see you then. And while I'm busy doing that off screen, I want to show you something on screen. Like for instance, this katana I found downstairs in Garcia. I may not have it marked, but I am standing in its direct location. Of course, you won't be able to find it in your mini-map because it's a Stark Grade shade. And speaking of things you won't be able to find on your mini-map, this is the Palisades and this is the M4. I'll mark it on my map for you where you can find it. It is the third house in the Palisade, in the backyard. I mean, it is not hard to miss. But make sure you pick this gun up because eventually that's all the enemies are going to be dropping. Now let's finish this mission and finally go to Angel Pine. And since we're already there, we might as well just be careful not to flip over the car. Head over to the marked location, which just so happens to be an ammunition. Or at least I think it is. No, it isn't. Actually, it's a convenience store. Not a robbable one either. So, all we have to do is stop here and get up on the roof. Now, this is the moment of truth that makes you want, that will make sure that you either pass or fail this mission. Climb up here on this roof and go into the Corona because you've got some photos to take. Sorry about that. I was, choking and I didn't want to have that on recording. But anyway, the whole gist of what you gotta do, make sure you have the faces of the guys in this meet on camera. It can be finicky because there are certain angles you have to take. And those angles will determine if you caught them or not. Sometimes you'll have to zoom in. And make sure whatever you do after you take a picture of this guy, make sure you immediately turn your camera right because two more guys will be coming out from the right. This will throw people off that's new to the game a lot. Why? Because they're all expecting them to come through that alleyway. Get a picture of his face. Alright, there we go. And sometimes that shot can be finicky. You have to make sure that their face is in the reticule. Sometimes they won't accept the back of their heads, which that actually is a first. That they actually accept the back of the head.
I know a pimp when I see one. They being clever about
and with that, we're done with this mission.
Nothing incriminating. That was some heavy shit.
We better split up and get out of here. I'll meet you back at the garage, eh?
Coolio, we got what we came for anyway.
And with that, this mission is over. You can now use your camera to find hidden photographs throughout the entirety of San Andreas. But nonetheless, we are done with part 40. In part 41, we'll find out who these guys are.